I'm Sam.
And I'm Amanda.
Welcome to Filtered Through Faith. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a special guest. Drum roll. We have Amanda. She's in the guest seat today. We're going to ask her some really good questions. So, our topic today is season of obedience. And my friend, who better than you? You've been very obedient. So, Amanda, tell us a bit about yourself, about how you think you've been obedient to God. Let's start there.
Oh, I I don't know. I I feel like I don't want to make myself the model of it because I actually haven't always been obedient to God.
Mhm.
But I think, and I guess what you're referring to is my recent season of obedience, where I made a very life-changing
Yeah.
decision
Mhm.
to leave my corporate career and to go into full-time ministry.
Yes, but before you
Yes.
continue, can you just tell the guest what was your position in
Okay.
your corporate company? Because you're making it sound like you left just a normal admin job
Yes.
to go pursue something else, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what is your title?
So I started in my career when I was 19. I studied after school just a very short stint, and then I couldn't find a job in the industry. I studied events management. I couldn't really find anything. At that time, it wasn't such a booming industry. And my mom got me a job with uh the company she was working for as a like temp procurement administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that actually I kind of enjoyed this and I could make a lot of money in this. And so then by the time I was 21, I started studying in that field, and I really like pushed hard and studied while I worked and try to expand my network and get as good at my job as I possibly could get.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew and grew and grew, and eventually I got to a head of procurement
Mm-hmm.
for a international bank,
Mm-hmm.
but I headed up the South African procurement
Mm-hmm. And
department.
that's how I met you, because you
Yes,
are our
we
head
work
of
together.
procurement. Yes.
Yes.
So tell us, what do you do now?
So now I'm a kids ministry leader at our church. While I was in my corporate career, I did, so I'm a born again Christian, and I came to know the Lord when my baby was in my belly. My first
Mm-hmm.
child was in my belly. And I never had served in ministry until I got my dream job. Like that was the job I had been gunning for until since I accidentally saw my boss's payslip. Like many years prior, I accidentally saw his payslip, and I was like, I can do what he does. I want
For
to
that
earn
amount of
millions.
money, I can
I
do
want to,
it.
and I like just worked my little backside off, and so that was my dream job. When I landed that job, I was like, my goal was to get it at 40,
Mm-hmm.
and I got it at 30.
Mm-hmm. And you were really good at it.
Oh,
You
thank
were
you.
brilliant. So it's like, it's almost clear when somebody's not doing well in their job that, okay, you should move on and maybe
Yeah.
pursue something else. But that wasn't the case for you. You were
Yes.
really good at what you were doing.
Yes.
So how did...
Well, I say that humbly. I mean, I worked hard at being good. I
Yes.
didn't I didn't wake up and try to not be good. I woke
Yes.
up trying to be great at it. So
And
yeah.
you succeeded.
Yeah.
So how did that calling come about?
I refused it. I totally refused it.
Because you were
To be
doing
honest. So
you were doing Friday nights youth.
yes.
I remember you always used to tell us about that, and you used to glow when you used to say that.
Yes.
So that's how I
Yes.
knew that was your calling.
Yes. So I then started serving. So it's almost like I land my dream job, and like a year later, I start serving in youth ministry. And also that was like just I prayed about it. I was like, Lord, I feel like I need to serve somewhere. But I don't know where, and I'm not sure what exactly to do. And then our pastor phones us, and I was like, I've been hurt before where I've like put my hand up and nobody contacted me. So I felt like maybe they felt I'm not good enough. So I was
Mhm.
like, I'm not going to put my hand up. I'm just going to trust that God is going to put me on someone's heart and that I'm going to be serving in the right space.
Mm.
And so then I still remember the moment I was just like sweeping out my bedroom or something like that when I prayed that prayer. And then literally a day or two later, our pastor calls. He wants to see us. And so myself and my husband, we go for the meeting, and he says, we'd like to ask, don't you guys want to lead the youth?
Mhm.
And so initially I'm like, yeah. But obviously we went home, spoke about it, and then that's how we came to doing that. And we led the youth for like 3 years, grew the youth group, and yeah, I just became so in love with those kids. And I just became so in love with the journey that God can take people through once their eyes are open to His grace, His glory,
Mm.
His mercy, even a teenager.
Mm.
And I became so in love with my role in like shining a light on certain things or helping people see a certain thing, or helping people not struggle the way I struggled about a certain thing. And so, yeah, and I'm a very I think I'm a very creative person.
Mhm.
So I like love to do things big
Mhm.
and get your attention with it and things like that. And so, yeah, I think that just all of those natural gifts that God gave me, I was just able to use. And so I was doing that like side of desk. And luckily, or praise God, it was around the time of COVID. So I wasn't 3 hours in traffic and all of that. So I could like handle a lot more than I traditionally would. Yeah. And then I think the way I knew that God was calling me to something different, I won't say I really like knew it, but certain things happen in my life. Like I spoke to you guys about
Hannah.
Hannah. And yeah, and at the time, I'd had to retrench my full team, and then um, I knew at a certain point I would also be retrenched. And so at the time, I just started reflecting a lot on like after losing the baby and all of those things. And I just started reflecting on like, okay, now I have this money that I wanted since I was like in my early 20s, but nothing makes me as happy as, yeah, just like I would get more excited about the stuff I'm doing with the youth.
Friday nights. Yeah, you're
Then,
very excited. I do remember those days.
yeah.
Passing by in the office and be like, we're in a rush to. Like, I have got youth. I've got to go. I've got to go.
Yeah.
I can't sit in traffic.
Yeah. 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 So I think then, like with losing Hannah and just like reflecting on, and also being faced with a lot of death. So I'd loss in my family and things like that. And just really reflecting, like, okay, at the end of it, what do I want to say? Do I want to say
Mm.
that I've I was the best, most amazing procurement person in all of South Africa? Or do I want to, or would I like the Lord to say, well done, good and faithful servant? And I'm not saying there's no other way to do, I'm not saying like everybody needs to serve in ministry, but for me particularly, I felt like there was just moments where God was like turning my gaze from what I once longed for
Mm-hmm.
to something else.
Mm.
Yeah. But whew,
That's
yeah.
amazing. That is sure. Every time I hear your story, and I've asked you so many times to repeat, because I'm always just so blown away by your obedience. And I've said this to you so many times. It's not easy walking away from a well-paying job for such a big company, an international company, and be like, okay, I'm gonna serve in the children's ministry. Like that takes a lot of humbling.
Well, I think it was also like the process and the journey that God took to get me there. So I think He did it in a way that He knew that I would see that this is Him. So, like, firstly, I got retrenched. It wasn't like I resigned from my job.
Mm-hmm.
I got retrenched, and I knew like for 3 or 4 years, I'm going to be retrenched.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they just kept extending my contract, asking me to help with other things and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew it was coming. In the meantime, I'm going through loss, grief, all of those things. And I'm just getting closer and closer with the Lord. And then I have a year off. So I knew I'm going to be retrenched. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to take a year off and just like, be with my baby, with my other kids. I was like pursuing my career. So I almost felt like I totally missed those maternity leaves. So I was like, I'm going to have like just a good maternity leave. I'm going to like really
Take it
just
all
enjoy it. And then towards the end of that year, I started having like conversations with my husband. And I was like, I felt like when I was in my 20s, I had my future mapped out. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have my girl and my boy. And then I'm going to have this amazing job. And we're going to just travel the world. And we're going to have these kids that are just going to be. And, I just had everything like. And I was like, this is my 5 year. If you had to ask me, Amanda, what's your plan for 5 years? I would know it. Like, that's what it was like. And then after that 1 year and after we had lost Hannah and all of that, it was like, I said to my husband, if you ask me now, what do I want for the next 5 years? I don't know.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. I don't feel passionate about what I used to feel passionate about anymore. Everything feels like, this again, And yeah, and then, but life is real and finances is finances.
Yeah.
And we had become accustomed to a certain lifestyle. And so it was like, okay, I have to start looking for a job again. And I started interviewing again, getting ready to go back to my corporate career. And reaching out to my networks, and a friend of mine in my network contacted me and he was like, come Rose, I have something for you. And I interviewed, and then they posted this job. Well, from the first day they posted the job at our church, my husband was like, you're supposed to take this job.
Oh.
And we get out of church and I'm like, no.
So did they announce it at church? Or?
Yes, yes. And he's like, you're supposed to take this job. And I'm like, no. For like a couple of weeks. And obviously in the meantime, they're still praying like that the Lord would send them the right person to lead the kids ministry, because they had just like a phenomenal, strong, great woman before me. And then the more Kirsten is saying it, the more irritated I'm getting with it. Because every time he says it, like something happens inside me, And then eventually he stopped saying it. But they still announcing.
And he started praying it.
But they still announcing that. And I'm like, why is it taking so long for them to find someone? Like, can't they find someone? Like, I'm starting to get irritated with the fact that they're announcing it.
Maybe I should help them find someone.
Like, why are they taking so long to find someone? Like, what is the problem? Because every time they announce it, like, so anyway, and then our church has this like weekly newsletter, and on the newsletter I see, on the newsletter this time it's like, this is the final call and it's closing midnight or something like that. And literally I have like a hot flush in my 30s.
I'm getting
and I'm like
goosebumps.
I'm like, get up out of my bed. It's like 11 o'clock or something like that at night.
It's like,
get up out of my bed. And I get up out of my bed and I'm like literally getting hot, and I'm walking around the room and I'm like, what must I do, Kirsten? I don't know what to do. What must I do? Kirsten's like, and I'm like pacing till like probably half past 11. And then Kirsten's like, Amanda, just apply. Why are you thinking, like, if you don't get it, you don't get it. Then you know God is saying
no.
Yeah. So
Come
just
on,
apply.
Cinderella.
Like, okay, quickly. I pull my laptop out. I quickly pull up all the things I've done for the youth at our previous church. I pull it together. I make like a little portfolio.
Everything together.
They didn't ask for it, but they didn't ask for any. So I didn't know what to do.
That was definitely going to
You know me. I'm not going to do anything half.
Yes.
So I was like, okay. So I pulled together a portfolio. Luckily, I had like on my laptop all the stuff that I'd done for like the youth events I put together, fundraisings, we did things like that. So I just pull it all together. I tweak my CV a little bit. It's like everything in my CV is already for like a job in my career. So I was like, it's too late to say anything else. Yeah, I'm just gonna send that CV as it is. And I just like I'm like, okay. I send it with a portfolio. And I'm like, okay, Lord, it's in your
Whatever.
hands.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
And then they call me for an interview. And so they call me for an interview and a job back into my career
Calls you for an
calls me
interview.
for an interview.
And did you go to both?
Both.
Okay.
So I go to both round one of interviews to both.
Mm-hmm.
Round two happens like a couple of days apart from each other of both interviews. Round three of both interviews happens days apart from each other. And the whole time I'm like, seriously, Lord, you're not gonna do this to me. I can't choose. I cannot choose. Like, you're gonna have to make one of these fall through. I cannot choose. And I start talking to like my mom about it, some friends about it, and I just remember another lady who was like kind of like a mentor to me. I see her in Checkers and she's asking me, Amanda, how are you? She's also like big in her corporate career or whatever. And I tell her about what's happening, and I'm like, I think God is gonna choose for me because I can't choose. And she's like, no, he's not gonna choose for you. He's gonna ask you to choose. And I was like, huh?
That is sure.
Plus, now this is like, if I take, it's looking good. It's looking good, this corporate role. Like, the interview's going well. I'm at the last stage where like the executive saying to me, "Ugh, it's not really an interview. I'm just trying to get to know you. So it's like going well."
It's your job, yeah.
Yeah. And I meet the people and they're so nice. The people are so nice. Like the person who's going to be my main stakeholder, my gosh, he's like a dream stakeholder. He's like, I can't wait to work with him. He's like so nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting harder and harder. And then I go with Kirsten to some event and we win a weekend away. Like I don't win
Yes,
stuff.
I remember that.
And we win a weekend away for our family in Artis. And yeah, like, and now I'm at, like, it's looking like I'm gonna get both. I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah, but
it's
you
feeling
can kind
like,
of, yeah, you
yeah.
can see.
And I'm like going away on this weekend thinking, Lord, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Please don't make me choose. Please don't make me choose. But I have this feeling inside me that when I come back, I'm going to have to have a decision. And I kid you not, like leaving that Friday, I was so undecided. But by the time we came back from the weekend, like my prayers had converted from, Lord, I don't know what to do, to, Lord, please let them pick me for the job at the church.
Sure.
And then, yeah, they did. They phoned me like the day we were leaving.
And did you get the other role as well?
I phoned to, I don't know. I phoned, once I'd accepted the offer
You
from
told
the
him you
church, I
accepted.
phoned to say,
And I remember.
my friend phoned me and he was like, let's talk in 3 months.
Oh,
Are you sure? Like,
is this where you want to be? But also, I remember that it didn't stop there. Like you still had jobs
yeah,
coming at you.
so that's why I'm saying, like, I don't really want to be the model for this, because honestly, literally, when you told me like, okay, this is what I'd like us to
I
do,
know.
I was like, I don't know, Sammy, because literally
Yeah,
today I was
we
doubting.
definitely had something else planned for today's episode. And Chad comes out of the shower and he's like, Sam, for your next episode, I've got a brilliant idea. I'm like, mm-hmm. It's like, why don't you interview somebody that's like walked in obedience, like that had a great career and then changed their career and went into ministry? And I was like, Amanda. It's like Amanda is the one. It's like, is she gonna, well, she talked about it. I was like, I'm gonna force her. So if you were gonna say no, I wasn't gonna stop.
So yeah, I think I know it was a decision of obedience in that moment. I was like, okay. But this is the thing with obedience, is like, you'll accept what God is saying, But once you've accepted it, walking in it is even harder than the initial decision. I'll actually say now, looking back, making that decision feels
Was
like
easy.
piece of cake
Yeah,
to
'cause
me. It feels, and it wasn't a piece of cake. But the point I'm making is actually sticking to that,
staying in obedience, choosing
staying
obedience every
in
day.
obedience post that
Mm-hmm.
was actually harder than the initial decision.
Mhm.
Ease remains
Mm-hmm.
harder than the initial decision. So, like, especially when I'm having because it doesn't mean it's a ministry job, like everything is just 100% all the
Perfect.
time.
Yeah.
No, it's normal. It has its ups and downs, it has ebbs and flows, and sometimes I'm like, really, Lord? This? Like, or really, Lord? And financially, it's also a huge change for me. So I say this with the greatest respect to my husband because he's always done his part, but financially, I never relied on him.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I didn't need, I didn't need his income. We didn't need to work together financially as a couple. Now, I need it. I need to ask him. And that was so hard for me. It's like, it's a silly thing, but it's so hard for me still to be like, I'll be going out to the shop and I know I don't have much money in my account. And he'll be like, must I give you money?
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's
And I'll
so
be like, no, it's fine. I'll be fine. And I know
I'll
I
just
don't
buy a
have
chocolate.
I know I don't have money. But it's like so hard for me. And I was just saying to a friend the other day, I was like, there's a lot of unlearning I'm having to do post that decision. There's a lot of me learning to rely on my husband, learning to
beautiful.
trust him, learning to be like, okay, he'll take care of us.
Getting out of his way so he can lead, basically.
Learning to be like, I don't have to have the next 5 years of my financial plan put together or my because that's the thing about this walk is like it's not as I don't have the next 5 years figured out. I really don't.
It's not as clear as
It's not as clear as like, I would be like, no, this is what we're gonna do in the next 2 years. This is how gonna be my income. This is gonna be what I'm gonna be saving. This is what my retirement's gonna look like. This is what you know what I mean. Like I had all of that type of stuff down. Oh, these are the countries I want to visit. These are the places I want to take my kids. This is the car I want to drive. This is the I had all of those things figured out and I just don't. I even have like a vision board just sitting there waiting because I don't even know.
And I remember your vision board everything was completed last time.
Yes, it was all done. Like I had a 5-year vision board and I did it. And it wasn't completely materialistic. Some of it was like growing in my faith, but just growing in my faith has made my vision board very different.
And knowing everything that you know now, would you choose that again? Would you choose the initial obedience again? Or would you be Jonah?
I don't know, but I will say I've come to learn that even when I don't understand what God's doing, He's still working it for my good. So, like I was telling my husband about the story that I'm reading now about who is this now? Why am I forgetting? I was telling you the other night. Oh yes, Lot's wife.
Oh
yes. So okay, I'm going through it, and she's like the woman that I get to, and it's Lot's wife. Nothing said about her except she turns into a pillar of salt when she looks back, right? But what he said about her is the legacy she leaves in her daughters. It's not explicitly said that, but I mean, her daughters are her legacy. And her daughters are the two that make their dad drunk and fall pregnant by him, and then they make Amorites and Midianites who become Israel's opponents for years and years and years. And just like, and I just think to myself, if Abram just had to trust God's
Word.
way and
Mm.
say, okay, don't save the 10. I'm not saying that that's what you, but I'm just saying that sometimes we think like we know better.
Better than God, yeah.
And yeah, so even now, like I'm having to continuously remind myself, but I falter and I fail. Some days I am looking at LinkedIn. I'm like,
This
no,
is like
Lord,
a good
I
one.
can't take it. But then I just remember, like, no, stay true, Amanda, because you will regret not trusting in the Lord, not obeying His will for your life.
Yeah.
But it is like,
It's hard because you have to choose it every day.
yeah.
Every single day you have to choose obedience. And in closing, somebody that's listening today and they don't know if this is what God has called them to be, is this an obedience struggle? Should I be obedient? What would you say to them? What would you say to the Amanda on the Friday morning before she leaves to go on the weekend away?
I think that prayer is like a very helpful thing. I think God won't, firstly, I think God won't take you to something until He knows you're ready to make, like I've said before, this was one of my biggest faith decisions. One of, not the only, but I do feel like He almost built me up to that point. Like He took me through other things to get me to a space where ultimately it was still my decision. And I believe He would have been with me either way I chose. But I do believe that when you say, okay, Lord, I don't know this future, I don't know if this is, I don't know, I can't figure out the next 5 years, the next 3 years, I don't know what it's going to look like. But I know that you are God. And like, that's what I'm saying. He'll get you ready for that moment. So, like, at that point, I felt like everything I'd done, everything I'd been through, everything I'd taught the youth, everything I'd come to a point where God had led me to a space where I was capable of making the right decision. So I will say, like, give it to God. Because if you're going to be like, I have to do the right thing, I have to do the right thing, then it's like, oh, don't do it for people. Don't do it to satisfy people or to make yourself feel like you know, like, because the true test comes post the decision. The true test comes post the decision. And on the basis of which you've made the decision will tell whether you can stick it out or not.
I love that. I can take so much meaning from that too. Thank you for sharing. I know you had a Bible verse.
Yes.
Would you like to share that with us?
Yes, sure.
Sure, that was great.
I'm always looking for Bible verses on this podcast.
I
Never have
know.
never have them
And we
ready.
always prep
Oh,
from what?
from yeah, yeah. So I actually
Where can we put that in?
I actually took my name out. Yeah, I asked them. I was like, "Oh, I changed my mind."
And what did they say?
They were like, "Please, we think you have a good chance. Will you reconsider?"
Oh, my
And then
goodness.
I spoke with Gus and I was like,
You were speaking to the choir, yeah? Because you was like, you better get that job.
so then I think even before I remember a moment where we were going through something with Hannah, and I remembered the moment in my lounge on the mat, face down, crying to the Lord, just struck by His majesty, struck by His sovereignty, struck by. It's almost like I'd never figured out until that point, which is weird, but it was almost like I'd never, until that point, it had never fully hit me that God is God.
Sure.
And so I put my head down on the carpet, sobbing, and I was like, God, whatever you want to do with my life, I'll do it. Whatever. And in that moment when the pastor sent me back that email, I was like, it's like that flashback just came to my head, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
and I just replied, I'm sorry. Please put my name back in. And yeah. So anyway, what I wanted to
Sure.
share was just on like, even once you've made the decision of walking in obedience, and for everybody it looks different. Your obedience score is different all the time. Sometimes it's moving house, sometimes it's, I don't know, moving area, sometimes it's not being with this type of friend anymore, sometimes it's not continuing a relationship with that type of person anymore, or sometimes it's not living with someone that you not married to, or whatever your obedience moment is looking at. Like, yeah, I'll just say, have, I'll just share this passage that Paul wrote. For I know that good itself does not dwell in me, that is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do. This I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is the sin that is living in me that does it. So I find this law at work. Although I want to do good, evil is right there with me. For in my inner being I delight in God's law. But I see another law at work in me, waging war against the law of my mind, making me a prisoner to the law of sin at work within me. What a wretched man I am! Who will rescue me from this body that is subject to death? Thanks be to God who delivers me through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then, I myself, in my mind, am a slave to God's law, but in my sinful nature, a slave to the law of sin.
That is so good. Sure. That is just,
So,
that's
yeah,
so good. Sure.
just there to say, like, you are fighting against your
Flesh.
natural sinful nature all the time. But we have been redeemed by the cross. We have been redeemed by Christ Jesus alone. And He has given us the Holy Spirit, a helper to help us make these tough decisions and to carry us through those decisions. So, yeah, that's
You can surrender to Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, this is good. This lesson, this is my favorite. This is my favorite episode. I loved listening to you, and I could listen to you all day. And you know that. I tell you that all the time. Thank you so much for sharing, Amanda.
Thank you for getting me to share it, because I was like, I don't think I should. I'm not,
It's
but
so
thank
good.
you so
I
much.
can listen to your story over, like, I can just listen to you over and over and over again. It's just, it's amazing. God's not finished with you yet, and He's gonna really, through you, He's gonna do great things. I just know it, and I can see it, and we can't wait for this book. This book is taking forever, feels like it. We can't wait for it to come out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for always being with us, and sure, I don't know about you, but I feel so uplifted. I'm ready to be obedient. Like, that's just, it's beautiful. Amanda, your story is beautiful. Please follow us, like us, subscribe on YouTube, on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on socials, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, we are there too. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you for joining.
That was so good. That was so good. My friend, thank you for sharing your life. That was amazing. We didn't even pray, but that is amazing.